Hello and welcome back. We are at the 2021 Nanaimo Work BC Job Fair. We have the privilege of interviewing a whole bunch of local employers, and they're all super wonderful. And our guest right now is no exception. I have Alison Donaghey from Sonshine Girls Painting, who's going to very generously give some time to answer some of my questions. Alison, welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love all the work that you do. We've been lucky to be a part of your job fairs for a few years now, and you guys just do amazing work. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you so much for saying that. That's much appreciated.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, how did you get started with Sonshine Girls Painting?
Yeah, well, to back up, before I started it, I was going to university full time. I was a single mom. I was working three jobs. I couldn't make ends meet. And then I met a guy who was a painter. And he went, any girlfriend of mine is going to learn how to paint. And so I was like, okay, I could make more money and work less hours and maybe see my kid once in a while. And then, I turned out I was pretty good at it. And then he passed away in 99 and I hadn't finished my degree. And I went, oh, what am I going to do? So I thought, I'm going to start a company. How hard could it be? So it took me only a few months to get off welfare because it doesn't take much to make more than welfare, and then we've just been going strong ever since. And that was back in January 2000. So we've just started with our 22nd year. So it's pretty good. Even my
Wow,
dogs think so.
that's great.
Sorry about that.
Oh no, that's fine. Well, I'll say congratulations on that longevity, because for any business, especially a competitive one like the field that you're in,
Mhm.
that's an accomplishment. So well done to you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm such a big fan of the trades. I would not be able to have the life that I have having not gotten into this line of work. I don't think. I just couldn't see myself getting out of a retail type job.
Right, that's
Yeah.
great. And so, as we all know, it's important to find enjoyment in the work that we do in order to overcome any challenges that we have. We have to have that enjoyment. So, what is it about running your business that you enjoy so much?
I think my favorite part is the amount of freedom that I can create in my life. And because I value that so much for me, I can also provide freedom for my employees as well. And so we have so much flexibility because life is not built around 9 to 5. It's not. Things come up, kids get sick, parents need help, vacations, an extra camping day or something. And I really love being able to work in an environment where with just a wee bit of notice, we can make that happen, not just for myself, but for everybody that's involved with my company.
Great, perfect. Now, we are getting into the warmer months. I imagine it starts getting busier for you right around now and moving forward. So, what kind of positions are you looking to fill in the next in the short term?
Yeah, we're looking for mostly summer employment. Sometimes it extends into year-round employment, depends on the staff that we hire, depends on what their life is like, if they're going back to school, those sorts of things. But we're hiring for summer painters. And so it is basically a Monday to Friday, 8 to 4 type job, more or less. And yeah, we're looking for people that really want to embrace learning a trade. We love having people with experience, but we're totally open to having people who are just have a really good work ethic, because I can't teach work ethic, but I can teach someone how to paint.
Oh, that's great. So, if someone doesn't have experience doing painting,
Yeah.
if they've got the right attitude and they have that real show up quality and they're excited to be there, you have training that you can provide.
Absolutely. Yeah. We have summer staff that come back year after year. And so every year they just get more and more training and they move up in the types of jobs that they can do. But if we have somebody who is like really eager to learn and is showing an aptitude, we are happy to continue to show them more things. We're not one of those companies where it's like, oh, you can only do this little small cleanup job, right? But if we want people to be as useful as they can within our company so that they leave with skills that it can help them in their life.
Oh, I love that. What a great approach from an employer. That's fantastic. And your employees much must appreciate that perspective as well.
We have a great team. And I actually wrote a business book called Think Opposite. And it's really about how do we all work together to use business to change the world in a more positive way.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, you'd mentioned work ethic. of course, and kind of having the right attitude. What other qualities of a new hire do you really look for?
We look for their how well they work with other people, because this is a team environment, right? And in the past, we had to get rid of really great painters because they didn't fit with our culture. And we're a little bit of a different kind of company. I think we just hired somebody that doesn't speak any English last year, and so everybody had their app on their phone so they could talk to him. We just really want that willingness of people to make it work and just try their best.
That's great. Now, someone is working for you and they're new and they're doing their best. How does that employee know if their best is what you see as well? If they're being successful in their role, how do they know?
Well, like in most situations, if you're not carrying your weight, you tend to pick up that vibe. But we do really encourage conversation amongst staff. We are always really open to having a conversation about, how do you think I'm progressing? Can we set some markers so that I know that I'm on the right path? We'll do things like, this job, when you're good at it, should take you about an hour, but because you're new at it, it's probably going to take you two. But an hour is where you want to be. And so we tend to pair people up so they have a bit of a mentor in the company so that they can learn by watching and working beside. My son runs all my crews. And so he just makes sure that's one of the things he does. He just makes sure everybody is kind of feeling comfortable and understanding what their expectation is.
Oh, that's great. The mentor process is such a wonderful way of onboarding
Mhm.
for any business owners that are listening in. If you're not quite sure what to do with a new hire, pairing them up with another one of your employees is just a great model. So, Alison, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Of course, the big elephant in the room, COVID has affected the way that we all do business. And I'm curious from your company, from a painting company, how has COVID changed the way you do business, and what processes maybe have you put in place to ensure the safety of your team and your customers?
So we have all of the regular hand washing, sanitizing. We spray down all of our equipment. I think the biggest thing that we do, and maybe a little bit different than some of the other companies, and I'm guessing at that, I don't know, because I don't know how well this can work with other companies, but for our company, we have separate crews. And those crews don't cross over. So basically, when you're put in your crew of five-ish people, you're staying with those people for the duration. Unless there's a personality conflict, then we may do a switch over, but we try to really keep the group small so that they're constantly working together without that crossover. Just helps keep if one person in a crew gets sick, then it's not the entire company that's going to get hurt by it. The downside is that it does sometimes mean less than 40 hours a week, because in the past we would be able to pull somebody off of one team, put them on another team, and mix them up all the time. But last year, I think we did really good about making sure people got full-time work, barring weather.
Okay, so you had mentioned that coming up, you're going to be doing some hiring for summer positions. So how does that hiring process work when you post an application? So where do you post that application, and how do people apply?
Well, we post it in a variety of places. So you guys, we post it sort of on social media, different job banks. We just try to get the word out to as many sources as possible. Word of mouth is always a really good one. Often we will ask our staff that are coming back from last year if they have people they would like to work with that might be interested in it, because it helps with that team environment. It's always nicer coming to work when you get along well with your coworkers. So we employ a variety of different methods, and then we ask people to submit a resume with experience, and it can just be a letter, if like an email, just outlining everything. I don't really care how we get the information, because different people sort of have different skill sets and like to approach things differently. So we're not a real stickler on a particular format, but we do ask that you answer the questions that we have posted. I'll ask you to, well, we always ask for a wage expectation. And so we would want you to include that. And what that does is it really shows that you've paid attention to the posting. And if you can't pay attention to the posting, there's a pretty good chance you're not going to pay attention on my job site. And so right from the moment you have that contact, an applicant has that contact with us, is telling us something about that applicant.
Right. That's great. It's like a natural test that's
Oh,
built right into the process. And so I think that also speaks to, for any job seekers out there who are using the same resume to apply to different positions at different companies, keep that in mind, because what Alison just said is very important, and it's a perspective that's shared by pretty well every employer that I know and cross paths with, is that they want to be able to see reflected in your application that you actually paid attention to the job posting. And if it's obvious that you have not, that's how you find yourself in the stack of resumes that are not followed up on for an interview. So that's a great point, Alison.
thanks. Yeah, absolutely. It's, if you're not going to take that effort from the beginning, I've gotten resumes that is completely geared towards serving at a restaurant. That's not going
Right.
to help. But if somebody wants to send me a message and said, hey, I was going to send a resume in, but all of my past jobs have been for serving. And I know you're not hiring for a server, you're hiring for a painter, but here's what I think some of my transferable skills are. That would be good.
Yes, that's great.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of servers out there who may be looking for other lines of work. And so that's a great tip. And if you don't know how to uh, figure out what your transferable skills are from your past work experience, that's a nice little plug for Work BC. We do that all the time with our clients.
Love
And
it.
so be sure to contact us at Work BC. We can help you with that.
Yeah,
Now,
and again, it's one of those notes that's sort of telling us something as well. If somebody applies and says, I'm not quite sure how this is transferable, like if they can't get a hold of you and say, hey, can you help me understand this? If they just reach out and say, hey, I think you got a cool company, I'm not sure if I could fit, but this is what I got. Like, can we make it work? We are totally open to those conversations.
yeah. Yeah, there is this fear, and I mean it's an understandable one, but among job seekers, that if you don't come across as super polished right from the word go, then
Mhm.
you'll be ignored or overlooked. And I think what you've just said is really important, that if you just reach out honestly and say, I like what I see when I look at your website, I've seen your work and it's really good, and I'd just like to be a part of it. There's something very refreshing about that to an employer. So cover letters, I think you kind of alluded to this, but cover letters, do you like to see them?
Again, it's not everybody's cup of tea and not everybody presents themselves well that way. I want to see people reach out with their own unique sort of, this is my best way of connecting with you, whatever that looks like. We're always, the company is always sort of morphing and changing the way we do things. And there's not a lot of hard lines about, if it's not this way, it's wrong. There's a few of those, but like, you got to be on time. But there's not, I think there's a lot of gray area in a right way, wrong way with our company. And I really, if people are showing up authentic and to themselves, if it comes with a cover letter, great. And if it doesn't, then maybe you have a different way.
Great, right. Now, someone submits a resume, an application to you, and you really like it. What happens next? When should they expect to hear back from you? What's the process look like?
Yeah, well, we answer everybody because I think it's really important that if you're going to make the effort to apply to my company, I'm going to make the effort to respond to you, because I just think that's the right way to do things. So regardless of our interpretation of your application, we will still be getting in touch with you and letting you know if it's a fit or not from our end. And it's not a personal thing. Sometimes it's just, we had enough resumes already come in, or applicants, or we've done our hiring, or it's not a personal thing. So I really encourage people to not take it personally. Like, you're wonderful and fantastic. And by me not hiring you, it may mean that you're going to have a better opportunity around the corner. So please stay positive and don't take those no's as from anybody as a definition of who you are. And so if we do think you might be a good fit based on who we already have working for us, then we would set up a time to do group interviews, and then we do the group interviews over Zoom.
Okay, Alison, thank you so much for all of your answers to these questions. Your time is very much appreciated. I'm certainly by myself, and I'm sure for everyone watching as well. And any kind of final thoughts? I just want to say that I'm really happy that you joined us today.
Well, I'm happy to be here and spend this time with you. So thank you so much. I just encourage anybody listening, please feel free to reach out, ask any questions that you have. Maybe it's just a question about working in the trades. And because, especially for women out there, sometimes we don't get that opportunity to have those questions. And even for men, like I find that men too will sometimes feel a little bit nervous applying for a female company. But think of it this way, Tom and Sons hires women without any questions. So Sonshine Girls Painting hires men. We hire based on how you're going to fit with our team, not your gender or how you identify. So it's a really safe space to work in, and we really appreciate everybody who takes the time. And again, I can't say it off enough, do not let responses like a no, this isn't a good fit define who you are.
Great. What a fantastic point to end on. Thank you again for your time, Alison, and have a great day.
Thanks, you too.